All right, welcome back to the internet broadcast, internet podcast. All right, speech to text. It's a tricky bitch, dude. I've been doing this for like 3.5 hours, so I'm gonna save you 3.5 hours around there. This is from Deepgram's website. If you Google, or even if you ask Perplexity, what is the best speech to text model, and specifically in my case, I'll kind of mention the fact that I'm using speech to text on mono channel phone calls with diarization. So basically, it's a single audio channel, and it's pre-recorded. That's another thing. So I'm not doing live transcription or anything. I'm basically looking at a pre-recorded phone call, and I need to be able to tell the speakers apart, and also ideally get good word accuracy just based on kind of the sound that's coming through. So some other use cases might be like real time, where you're transcribing audio as it comes in. I'm not going to talk about that. And then also non-diarization, where it's just like a single speaker. And potentially, if you have an audio file that is a phone call, but it's stereo, where you have each speaker has their own audio channel, these results may differ. But I'll tell you what I found, and hopefully you can kind of apply this to different ideas. But anyways, what I was saying is I was doing all this research, asking Perplexity, Googling it, and I read a bunch of articles, and all of them basically, Deepgram has the game fucking dominated when it comes to SEO, because the internet's full of charts like this. Deepgram Nova 2 blows everything out of the water according to their graph. So we have, lowest basically word error rate down here. So green is Deepgram, and they have the lowest word error rate allegedly. And now I've seen kind of documentation that agrees with this, which says basically Google is the worst. And then this is on Speechmatics, this is on Deepgram's website comparing to Speechmatics. And here is an independent kind of party testing this. This was a video I watched. You can see the title and channel down there. And what he found was that actually Gemini was kind of consistently the best for non-formatted, and then Assembly AI was right up there along with Whisper. And then this is a separate study which was mentioned in that video I just showed, and he didn't actually cite this source, but it references a very similar finding, which is Whisper is at the top, Speechmatics, Assembly, and then Deepgram's kind of in the middle to the back, and Google's the worst again. So, and by the way, it's confusing because Google has their own cloud offering for speech to text, kind of like Amazon, but they also have Gemini, and so this is separate. So Google has a separate speech to text model, and then Gemini is a separate thing. So anyways, my findings are, and these are the ones I evaluated. So I went basically Deepgram, Whisper, Speechmatics, and Assembly. Gemini, I couldn't really figure out how to get like a good playground for this, and I was just like, fuck it, dude, I'm not going to use it. So what we have here is Deepgram, Whisper, Speechmatics, and Assembly, and that's kind of what I narrowed it down to. And by the way, I'm using Whisper under Deepgram because if you just use Whisper through OpenAI's API, they have a max file size of 25 megabytes. And Whisper is actually open source, so you can use it a bunch of places, including on Deepgram. And so they have Whisper, small, tiny, medium, large, whatever, all the different types of Whisper. And so I tested Whisper Large along with Nova 2 phone call and Nova 3, and then also Speechmatics and Assembly. And so here's what I kind of found. So in terms of transcribing other languages, they all passed. I mean, I tried to call in Spanish, and it was fine. I don't really speak Spanish, so I don't know if the word accuracy was there, and I don't know exactly how many languages they support, but I'm sure it's around 20 to 50, so that's not the biggest deal to me. And then in terms of redacting card details, this is something that a client asked me about. They wanted to be able to redact basically PCI payment details, basically card numbers, CVVs, expiration dates, routing numbers, account numbers. So we can do that with Deepgram, Assembly, and Whisper. not Speechmatics. That is kind of problematic. The other thing Speechmatics just doesn't have that the others do have is PII, personally identifiable information, so like social security numbers and such. Um, and so with all of these except for Speechmatics, you're able to redact that stuff. And then in terms of telling speakers apart, here's what I found. So diarization is kind of a difficult task because you really have to, be able to tell like two speakers apart, like just based on the sound of their voice. It's a mono channel like call recording, and I checked and I cannot get a stereo recording, which would be fucking amazing, right? But you can't. It's all mono. But what I found is Deepgram Nova 2 phone call actually does this well as Speechmatics. But when I tested Deepgram Nova 3, it basically sucked. And I'm going to show you, okay, here's a caveat. When the two speakers sound very different, like one of them, I tested a call where one guy had a really good kind of microphone and a really deep, honestly, he could be a narrator. This voice was amazing. And then the other guy kind of was on like a shittier microphone, and it just sounded a lot different. And all of them basically just got it right, basically the whole time. Now I'm going to show you a call which is a lot different. So firstly, let me show you the assembly one, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. So firstly, these speakers sound very similar, and I'll just play it and you can kind of see how it does.
Hello. Hey, Carly. Good afternoon. Hi, this is Liz from Aesthetic Finesse Med Spa. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
So as you can tell, these ladies sound very similar, but you and I can tell them apart. Maybe you have to pay attention, but you can tell them apart. And as you can see, Assembly AI has no idea what's going on. It's just basically breaking things up randomly, it seems like. So speaker A and speaker B, apparently speaker A is 5 different people, or sorry, 2 different people. It doesn't work. Okay, same thing with Deepgram. So let's just play this again.
Hello. Hello. Hey, Carly. Good afternoon. Hi, this is Liz from Aesthetic Finesse Med Spa. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Carly. Nursing wants to know if you're interested or ready to schedule an appointment with her, either for Botox or filler.
Yeah, I'm actually coming. So I'm her cousin. I live out in
Oh,
Temecula, so I'm actually coming out there next week to visit.
oh, that's good to know. All right, would you want to schedule in advance or
Press the wrong pause. Okay, so as you can see, this first paragraph, it got them mixed up. It was actually pretty good for this segment. And then it's interesting here. Would you like to schedule in advance? I can squeeze you in a time next week. Are you looking to get Botox or filler or both? And it puts that as the other speaker. So kind of a slip up here. And what I'm trying to do with this transcript is feed it to ChatGPT. I want the speakers to be kind of accurately divided, so ChatGPT kind of can make sense of the call easier. And yeah, it's just not. I don't know. This is about as good as Deepgram gets, though, if with difficult phone calls. So as we can see, Deepgram Nova 2 phone call got it, but then let's just go to Nova 3, and they don't have a Nova 3 phone call yet. But this is Nova 3, and you can see like it just messes it all up. So that doesn't work. And then let's also go with Whisper Large. So we'll test with Whisper Large here. And this one is probably going to take a while. Whisper's much slower, especially Whisper Large is much slower than the other Deepgram models. Actually, that wasn't too bad. So let's
hello? Hello. Hey, Carly. Good afternoon. Hi, this is Liz from Aesthetic Finesse Med Spa. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Carly. Nursing wants to know if you're interested or ready to schedule an appointment with her, either.
So this actually kind of looks similar to Nova 3 because it messes up this first paragraph. This is not bad. and then this part is bad. Are you looking to get? And then the other person says Botox or filler or both, which obviously this is the same sentence. So yeah, so that's Deepgram, and then I want to show you Speechmatic because this is honestly fucking astounding. Let's just play the tape and you can watch it.
Hello? Hello? Hey, Carly, good afternoon. Hi, this is Liz from Aesthetic Finance Med Spa. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Carly. Nursing wants to know if you're interested or ready to schedule an appointment with her, either for Botox or filler.
Yeah, I'm actually coming. So I'm her cousin. I live out in
Oh,
Temecula, so I'm actually coming out there next week to visit.
oh, that's good to know. All right, would you like to schedule in advance, or I can squeeze you in anytime next week? Are you
I
looking
think
to get
she's.
Botox or filler or both?
We're doing Botox, and I think she's. I think we're doing it after hours because I'm coming out Friday night, and then I'm coming over to the house for dinner, and I think that's when she's going to do it. So I don't think she's actually making me an appointment.
Okay, no worries, no worries, no worries. I understand. Well, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you here.
Okay. Thanks.
So you can see Speechmatics does a phenomenal job. I mean, there was one slip up back here, maybe you saw, where it said, are you looking at these talks, which was supposed to be Botox or filler or both. So that was one slip up, but overall, I found Speechmatics to be the most accurate when it comes to words and then also diarization. So that's very impressive. The only downside for me is that Speechmatics can't redact card details and PII, which I'm going to have to address with probably using a separate model. But overall, I think assembly is probably the worst, especially if you're looking for a vendor, because I think Deepgram just has more options. Nova 3, Nova 2 phone call, Whisper, like you can try a bunch of different stuff and use different things based on what you need. Whereas assembly, it just kind of falls down in the diarization department. So, of course, your results may vary if you're using if you have different priorities. For me, diarization is a big deal. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. I could just go with Nova 2 phone call because it's like kind of similar to look how fast it is. Like I can run this in like, a Vercel function. Like that's super fast. It's a short call, but it's fast. It totally messes up this name. That is not what this name is. I don't know what the name is, but that's not it. And then this part's messed up, and it still thinks this word visit is vivint, which I don't know how you fucked that up because it sounds like visit, and I don't even know what vivint means. It's not even a word, dude. Vivint word. What the fuck? How can you think that's what people are talking about? So, I don't know, dude. Deepgram, it's good. Everyone wants to say Deepgram's like, I mean, it is fast. I'll give it that. And they give you $200 in credits when you sign up, which is nice. But I would say the diarization, yeah, dude, look at this last, like, in exchange. Like, it's all one speaker, and it's like, how would you expect someone to just say, well, thank you so much, okay, thanks, like, all in one sentence? I feel like the other models probably do a better job of integrating AI, So let's go Deepgram pricing, because I want to see kind of how this is reflected. So for Nova, that was Nova 2, we're looking at 4.4 cents per minute. And then in terms of Speechmatics pricing, okay, this isn't that helpful. It just says from 30 cents an hour. For, let's say for enhanced accuracy, $1. So let's do 1.04 divided by 60. So per hour, that's 17 cents per minute. Is that right? No, 1.7 cents per minute. Which is a lot more than Deepgram, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And then as far as assembly goes, we're looking at as low as 12 cents an hour, best. So I'm using best here, so 0.37. I mean, that's going to be a lot less. So 0.6 cents per minute. So this one's pretty close to Deepgram. Deepgram is the cheapest in this list. And Whisper's just way more than all of these. And then, yeah, I would say it looks like Speechmatics is the most expensive, but also by far the most accurate. So yeah, that's my analysis. I mean, this shit is a fucking pain in the ass, dude. Like, finding out the best speech to text provider is not easy. Of course, you know, if I had just gone with Deepgram and not investigated this, like, it would be fine. I would find that Deepgram's decent. But overall, I think that, you know, I'm probably gonna have to offer these two models just because Speechmatics is amazing. But Deepgram's a little bit cheaper, a little bit worse, you know. So, anyways, that's the video. Thanks for watching.